here, Link. On a personal note, just what is it like for your family this weekend? You've referenced your son getting ready to play in a super regional. You're in a super regional in your first full season at Notre Dame. I just wonder, from a uniqueness, from a special standpoint, not that you've had a lot of time to think about it, but what's that like for you and your family? And is your wife out in Fayetteville?
Yeah, John, man, to think that after all the years and games and travel tournaments and where's he going to go to school and is he going to get to play? Is he going to start? Like, to think now you're down to 16 teams and we're two of them, it's crazy. My wife flew with us, rented a car, and got up at 6 o'clock and she drove to Fayetteville. So they're sitting in Baum Stadium right now. She's never been there. My daughter's with her. That's as far as we can go. Like, she doesn't know what to do if NC State wins the game tonight. And I don't know what to tell her to do. And I'm not going to say a word to her because she's gonna have to figure that out, because if, they're playing to go to Omaha if they win tonight, and she wants to be here, but I don't know that mileage wise she can pull that off. So, John, I don't know. Like, to say that another coach is, I guess Bianco is kind of in a similar situation with his son that plays at LSU. But Jen has, like, that Jeep Grand Cherokee she rented, that thing was flying up through Memphis to get up there today, and they made it. So I'll get the briefing after the game on what she wants to do, but I have a feeling she'll probably stay there for tomorrow and then come watch us. I'm glad these things didn't line up where we're playing tonight too. That's the best thing that could have happened in this. I mean, the best thing is we're playing. The next best thing would be the way the super regionals shook out with them Friday and us starting Saturday. So that gives her a chance, fighting chance.
Awesome. Thanks, Link.
Go to John Bryce.
Hey, Link, you spoke recently about how your team had prepared for noisy situations all season long, and that you had kind of indoctrinated that into part of your preparation process. Did you do anything to augment that last week or in preparing for this regional, or what have you done this week in that regard?
Reminded, refreshed, rehearsed, raised the volume. We've talked about it all year. We practiced with the music on a couple times, which I'm sure everybody does. But I think our systematic approach to playing in front of a crowd, even though, quite frankly, we really haven't other than the regional games, I think we're ready for that. It's just the nonverbal use of communication versus thinking you can talk to the guy that's on the field beside you easily. It's not going to happen. So they understand it. Now, executing it in this setting for the first time that's where the rubber meets the road. But we've refreshed, prepared, worked on it today. So, we're going to find out if it works.
I mean, just real quickly here, in addition to playing the music loud, what exactly have you guys done as part of that preparation and indoctrination process?
Well, our outfielders communicate to call a ball differently than the infielders. So to try to not have it overlap and blend when there's a lot of other verbiage going on around you, that was one thing. All of our signs from me to the offense, that's all nonverbal stuff. So the layers of what we try to do are pretty deep. And the verbal, like, you can't, when a runner's on base, for example, and we use the wristband. So when he's looking at the wristband to make sure he's on the grid at what the sign is, the hitter can't be in the box. So it's just playing the game with your eyes up a little bit, because the verbal part is not going to be as much of a factor. And as the stakes rise in the game, as you get later, or, with runners in scoring position for either team, the volume will increase. So, there's a lot of things. We don't use the headset from pitcher catcher at all, because we don't ever want to get in a situation where you can't hear it or there's a malfunction. So I could go on and on about it, but I just think it's so ingrained in our system that it's how we play. And hopefully we can just continue to do what we've done systematically, this weekend.
Thanks.
Now, I mean, how do you feel your lefties match up against this lineup? Because Allen and Hancock, DeBrule, left-handed hitters. What are the advantages you have, and what are your concerns?
Yeah, my concerns are they handle left-handed pitching pretty good, and our guys pitch to contact, and it is it is part of the game. I mean, this is just the way that the ball bounces, and he's got to be better. Like, he's faced teams throughout the year that are very competitive teams that handle lefties pretty well. And he's going to have to adapt and learn from what happened at Virginia. And that was what I told him on the mound. Like, you've got more outings coming, and you have to, as miserable as those couple innings were for the poor guy, having thrown so many great innings, you have to learn every time you go out there. So getting the breaking ball where it needs to be and not letting that thing hang in the middle of the plate and being a little bit more crisp with the fastball execution. The changeup traditionally, against righties has been, an effective pitch, but he's just got to make pitches, and he pitches to contact. So, the ball is going to be in play. Now, he'll punch some people out, but that's not his mojo. His mojo is just kind of awkward contact, and we have to be able to play defense, and that's just the way it is. You've got a variety of lefties on our staff, and you've got Coleup, who's, a totally different type of arm than our lefties, and Rayo, and then, Brannigan and Simon. So there's a mix in there, but at the end of the day, we need Bertrand to be effective and give us some outs. And we got to defend and try to get into the game and hang in there with them. They're a good offensive team. They know what they're doing. They've got a bunch of different ways they'll go to try to beat you. And he's got to execute pitches, and we have to defend, period. He's got to have multiple pitches in play, hopefully all four, and we just have to go compete.
Do you have advantages with three lefties on the mound? I mean, as far as starters, I would assume that's the direction you're going.
Yeah, I mean, we're just going to announce Bertrand because you guys have seen it. We don't really plan too far out because we can start anybody. We're just looking at one game at a time. But yeah, they're all good. Mercer's different than Bertrand, and Tyrell's different than Mercer. So they're all left-handed, but they all are unique in their own respect. And, they do pitch to contact. Our pitching staff is different. They've struck out 715 guys in 500 and something innings. So it's a different look. Both have been effective, but it's a different way of going about it. And the pitchability lefty will be an asset to the game as long as the game is played. And we just happen to have four of them, and that's how we have to play.
You feel good about, Mercer and Terrell have been going deeper and deeper into the game for you. You feel good about where they are right now as far as, longevity in a game that they would start here.
Yeah. For them to build off of an actual deep start, it's great. It couldn't line up better just for their experience because neither of them have done it. And that's another experience factor they can file away. They have gotten deep into games and have pitched out of a little bit of trouble, and we let them work through it, and off they went. So it was good. I think they've done so many nice things for the team this year in terms of starting, relieving, closing, bouncing back to start in shorter stints. That was great to see them just go out there and pitch like a starting pitcher would be expected to pitch. And we don't ask that often, but when they're rolling, we're just going to let them go. Like Tyrell, we could have taken Tyrell out of the game, but why would we? He was settled in. He was getting ground balls. We were playing well, double plays.
His pitch count was down.
Yeah. So we just kind of have to ride it. It's again, our pitching staff, both teams are very competitive. Their pitching staff is designed. It's just a little different, and both effective.
Hey, Coach, just one kind of quick functional question. How is Spencer Myers doing, and is he healthy for the weekend?
He seemed okay today. He was smart enough the other day to kind of get himself out of there. And TJ's a phenomenal. He's as good as any center fielder in college baseball. So I think when Spencer realized we're up and let's let TJ go play the rest of this game and let me start to regroup and get myself ready for the following weekend. So he's got baseball feel, and he was much better out there today. And, he gets another night and more treatments and in the morning to continue to try to trend upwards. So we'll see. He told me after practice, Coach, I'm good. So he's on that roster, and that's all I can go with right now. We'll see how he is tomorrow morning.